It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, yes! Caught! Touchdown, they did it! Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on in to another edition of the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker, and you. Always love to hear from you on our Full Court Press text line, 435-339-0321. We've been getting your score predictions for Saturday, Utah State at UConn. And Jason and I gave ours. If you heard one, you heard them both.
Yes. We somehow managed to give the exact same score prediction.
Exact same. 31-17. I think the first half might be a little bit close, but in the end, Utah State, with their pace, and I'm just more confident in Utah State's skill position players. The Aggies take advantage of their style, and UConn's just not a good football team. They're not the same team they were a year ago.
Yeah, they're not. And Utah State should be able to take advantage of that. They should be able to outplay UConn. They have more skill. They have more speed. They may lack a little bit in terms of how physical they are. And if they're able to take care of business, this should be a comfortable win. There's a world in which I see, 5879 texting in, says he's got the Aggies winning 21-14. And there's a world in which the Aggies, again, fail to live up to their expectations and keep this one closer than it should be, especially depending on how bad they play in the first quarter. I don't expect this to be a low-scoring game. For me, where this would end up close is if the Aggies allow UConn to score 10, 13, 14 points in that first quarter and then go from there. I have UConn scoring 17, and I bet they score 7 or if that was the correct score, I'd imagine 7 or 10 of those ends up in the first quarter, just because that's what the Aggies do.
7994 also has a single score game here between these two teams. I think the Aggies pull ahead in the second half, USU 24, UConn 17.
Yeah, I actually originally had, before I walked in here, I had 24-17. I scribbled it out and said I'm going to give Utah State more credit on offense. Because James Madison, better defense, and Utah State managed to put up 38. Now, mind you, that's home, then there's road. So there's some of that I was taking into account there. But I think Utah State's capable of scoring a little bit more than that. But, again, I've found that I've consistently overrated the Aggies in my predictions pretty much every single week. I think with the exception of Iowa. Or maybe Idaho State, I kind of underrated them. But like with Air Force and James Madison, I severely overrated the Aggies on both sides of the ball. And I didn't want to do that this week. So like I said, if the Aggies do what I think they're capable of, I think I saw one score prediction was it my brother who said it was like going to be like 40-something? Yeah, he had Utah State 44-20. Like, if the Aggies do what they're capable of, that's the kind of score I would expect. Yeah. Maybe even better on defense, maybe hold UConn to like 13. That's what they're capable of. But Utah State has consistently shown they will not do what they are capable of. They just refuse to do so for some reason.
Yeah, talking about scribbles, so mine originally was 31-24. But I'm just giving a little bit more credit to Utah State defense.
Yeah.
And I just don't know UConn can muster that much offense.
Yeah, I was trying to think like how much I was going to put UConn somewhere in the teens. So I was like, let's go 17, because I think Utah State could hold them to 13 was probably one of the original numbers I was considering, but it's like, UConn's at home. Again, Utah State seems to be full of self-inflicted mistakes. They're going to be down some depth at linebacker, so give UConn a little more credit. Utah State maybe a slow start, spots UConn a few more points. So I think we'll see. Like I said, I got UConn in the high teens, could reach 20. But again, this really comes down to what Utah State does. They have the capability of controlling this game, and blowing them out or letting it be close. And that's why, even though you're playing a bad team, this will tell us a lot about who Utah State is. Do they dominate this game, or is it just going to be close?
2947 texting in, what record do you feel the Aggies have at the end of the season?
I know we went into this a little bit yesterday because we were kind of talking about maybe resetting expectations, and I know for you, Utah State exactly meeting your expectations as far as record.
Right. To this point, that's pretty much how I predicted it would go.
Yeah. For me,
and I had the Aggies at 5 wins overall.
Yeah, and if you staple on our preseason game-by-game predictions to what's gone on so far, we would both have the Aggies at 5 and 7. I had the Aggies winning a couple more games to this point in the season based on my predictions, but to me, I think 5 and 7 is at this point the base expectation. They now have to prove they will be better than that.
Yeah. After watching some games so far this year, I think I had Colorado State as a loss. I
can double check.
I think Aggies will probably win that now. I think that hinges on how things go Saturday to some degree. San Jose State, I think I had as a loss.
Yeah, I think we both
that's
had
a
that
swing game now. San Diego State's not looking as formidable. So there's definitely a path here for Utah State to get to 6, maybe even 7 wins. But they got to turn some things around quickly. Right now, they're still a 5-win team for me.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, in those Colorado State and San Jose State games, those are going to be the swing games. Because every other game feels like you're reasonably confident. There's varying degrees of how confident. We're really confident Boise State's probably a loss.
Fresno State's probably a loss.
Yeah, Fresno State's probably a loss. You're pretty confident that Nevada and New Mexico are going to be wins. But yeah, Colorado State, San Jose State, as I said, San Diego State's kind of in between those two levels of the spectrum. So, yeah, 5-win team probably. There's very much room for them. They'll have to grow into a 6 and 6, 7, 5 team. To me, they don't deserve to be considered any better than the 5 and 7 team right now, based on what they've accomplished. They've shown the potential to be as good as 7 or 8 wins. Like 8 wins would be the absolute maximum at this point.
Yeah. They would have to have something pretty crazy happen.
Yeah, theoretical maximum I guess is 9, but to get to 8,
I don't know if I bank on it.
To get to 8, they have to beat one of Boise State or Fresno State, and they have to beat
San Diego State
and all those. So, like I said, 8 is like about as high as I'd ever think of going. But yeah, 5 and 7 base expectation. 6 and 6, 7 and 5 if they're able to get a couple of surprise games there.
435-339-0321 for score predictions and how you think these are going to go on Saturday. 5879. UConn's game strategy, if I were them, put up as many points as possible in the first quarter.
That's a good strategy. I like it.
Generally a good strategy for anybody, but yes.
Score as many points as possible. That is...
Score more points than the other team.
But yeah, I know in the first quarter, like trying to take advantage and do a lot of what they did last game where they went up, again, 14-0, and a lot of that was on the strength of their running game. And I think they're going to try and do that. I know that they're struggling with having running backs, but you've got an athletic quarterback, a guy they'll pull out an option play every now and again, or a guy who can keep the ball in a read option. Because for Utah State, one of the things they've struggled with is cut back lanes and contain. Can you contain a team like, James Madison? I think there were 6 times in the first half where the running back was supposed to be going one way. The way the blocking worked out and the way Utah State was just flowing in one direction, he cut back and he gained 16 yards. And if I recall, I think that happened to a degree at UConn last year. I may be mixing it up with a different game, but I think UConn could try and take advantage of the same thing, especially with the way they block. They'll tend to just try and shift the entire defensive line one way, and the running back makes a read based on where the lane is.
Student body left, student body right.
Yeah, basically. So, and that can, if you're not defending it right, that if your entire defense flows one way and the running back cuts back the other way and beats, backside contained, then yeah, you're going to be giving up a bunch of chunk yards in the run game. And so that's something Utah State needs to be able to take care of. They need to be able to contain, and they need to be able to be gap sound in the run defense, because that's the biggest way UConn's going to be able to move the ball in this game is through the run game. If you can stop that, you will shut down UConn's offense.
5879 texting in, this game is a turning point for the team. If you don't win, you're down 1-4. It's a terrible hole to climb out of. They started the season last year at 1-4.
Yeah, and so
Won their opener against UConn, lost 4 in a row, then went on to become bowl eligible.
yeah, and so it's not impossible, but it's not easy.
True.
Utah State won their schedule got easier. I know it's going to get a little easier, but I don't think it's going to get as easy as it was last year. I think the schedule is going to remain a little more difficult because, like I said, if you go down 1-4, where are the 5 games to get you bowl eligible? They were there last year. They basically had one surprise win, and that was San Jose State. That was the one we were surprised they won. All the other 4 games, like, oh yeah,
They should have won.
yeah, they could have won, and they did. Where are the 5 wins if the Aggies go down 1-4? Colorado State and Nevada, New Mexico. Those are probably your 3 possible wins. Pick 2 out of Fresno State, San Jose State, and Boise State, and San Diego State. Which of those 2 are they winning to get bowl eligible after 1-4?
Yeah, it's a much steeper hill to climb.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
And so I definitely think this is a turning point. Either they're going to get back on track, or they're going to miss a bowl, and it's going to be a bit of a lost season in a way.
Talking about turning points, a potential turning point for athletics at the University of Nevada. Big news today: Grand Sierra Resort announced today. Actually, I guess they announced this yesterday, but I just saw the reactions to this. But they plan to build a $1 billion entertainment district in Reno, and it will include a new basketball arena that will be used by the University of Nevada's men's basketball team. Now, the women's basketball team will use the old Lawler Event Center, but the new arena will have about 10,000 seats. It's supposed to be, quote-unquote, state-of-the-art, and it'll be the new home for the Nevada Wolfpack.
Why are the women being excluded from that?
They will have some games there, but they apparently love the idea of having that as their exclusive home.
Like the
at
women
Lawler.
like that idea?
Their coach was quoted as saying that they love the idea of having their own venue.
Okay, he says that publicly. What does he actually think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think their team wouldn't want to play in a. How much money did they say there? I know that they said $1 billion on the district. How much are they spending on the stadium?
I didn't see that. I mean, I've seen some artistic renderings here, and it looks fancy. It'll be a nice arena, not as big as their current arena. You're going to shave about 1,500 seats off of what their current capacity is.
Yeah, and that's typically for a mid-major team, unless you already have a stadium that you're able to fill beyond the beyond 10 or so thousand. That's about where most mid-major programs are going to be able to fill up their stadium is 10,000. Like I said, unless you're a program, BYU, they were mid-major for years, and they had a pretty big stadium, and they filled that.
Yeah.
So unless you already have that, because Utah State, you could build them a 15,000-seat stadium, they wouldn't fill it.
But, I mean, the WAC tournament used to be held in Reno. The current deal in the Thomas and Mack with the Mountain West expires next year. Now, this arena won't be ready for several years.
No.
But it potentially could provide an opportunity for the Mountain West to move things around a little bit and maybe hold some basketball tournaments during the regular season, these MTE, multi-team events.
Yeah, it's interesting.
NCAA tournament early rounds.
Yeah, I think that those are certainly potential. We'll see if the Mountain West considers moving it there. Depends, because the big thing is obviously not just the basketball facilities, it's the hotels. But obviously with this giant entertainment district, you'd imagine that's part of it.
Right, yes. There are 2 massive 2 hotels, towers that will be part of this, an 800-room hotel on the property.
Yeah, and so that really helps that possibility of something you could legitimately do it there, where you couldn't really do it here in Logan.
No.
There's just not the capacity for all that.
No. I mean, the other advantage of having it in Las Vegas is not only the hotels, but there are a lot of other tournaments happening, which means you have a lot of media in the area, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to mix it up from time to time.
Yeah, Vegas is everyone's darling. Everyone's trying to do everything in Vegas. There's like 5 conference tournaments in Vegas now.
Right. It's getting a little overcrowded. So as far as multiple events happening at the same time, which makes it tough to for some of these other media outlets to adequately cover what's going on in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
All right, we need to take an early timeout here in the Full Court Press. There's a semi-pro soccer team which has been created in the Cache Valley. They've already started their season, and we get a chance to catch up with the coach and one of the team captains and find out more about Northern Utah United Premier. What's it take to create a semi-pro soccer team? Who do they compete against? And what's it been like trying to create a team from scratch? We'll talk about that coming up next on the Full Court Press.
Elements has delicious lunch specials. Soup, salad, and bread for just $10 is tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecued chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite, Chipotle fried chicken sandwich. Thursdays, enjoy Elements house-made smoked brisket, casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations.
You know you recognize that song. I'm talking to you, class of 1976. Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance, and turning 65 means it's time to talk Medicare. LSS is here to help. Call 752-9493 for help with Medicare. As your local agent, we will research benefits, costs, and look up prescriptions so there aren't any surprises at the pharmacy. Call LSS at 752-9493.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
We are pleased to introduce the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier. For generations, we have served the local community, and we've been so thrilled to be your choice for new and used vehicles. Well, our community is changing, growing, and expanding, and we're right here growing with you. We are so proud to serve the people of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. We're the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier with warranty forever. Come and see us.
Northern Utah and Southern Idaho's home for sports. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Jason Walker, Eric Frandsen. Today we have a couple more guests on, and it's another fun one. Another, spotlight on sports that don't necessarily always get the spotlight. We have from Northern Utah United Premier, their head coach, Bryan Hickman, and their team captain, Weston Casey, of it's a semi-pro soccer league that just got started here in Cache Valley. Good to have you guys on.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I guess just tell us a little bit about, this Northern Utah United Premier soccer team here we got.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's something that we've needed here in the Valley for quite a while. Most people probably don't realize the demographics of soccer here in Cache Valley, but Utah actually has the third highest per capita youth registration for soccer in the entire nation, and Cache Valley has the highest per capita county of youth soccer registration per any county in Utah, which, we're like triple the national average. So I didn't grow up here, but moving here, it's been pretty apparent looking around how popular soccer is here in the Valley. So we've had a lot of talent grow up here, a lot of talent like Weston that has had to drive outside of the county to play professional soccer. So to have this team here is kind of a big deal. We're grateful for Northern Utah United sponsoring it and putting up the money for it. So
I guess just... You going?
No, go ahead. You good?
Well, I was just saying that. So it's part of the United Premier Soccer League. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's.
I'm trying to look up all these acronyms because I'm learning this too. It's something that I was only made aware of. So I guess just tell us about the team and the season.
Sure.
Some of those details for people to know.
Yeah. So most people are familiar with the MLS. That's the highest level of soccer here in the United States. There's the USL. Championship Series, which is just underneath them. That's where the Monarchs play. There's USL 1 also, which was a league that's kind of like a third-tier league. And then there's UPSL League. UPSL is the grassroots version of professional soccer here in the United States. It's by far the largest. I think there's like 430 teams nationwide, 32 conferences. We're in the Mountain West Conference, which consists of Boise all the way down to St. George. Right now there's not a St. George team in it, so it's basically Boise to Provo. But yeah, we compete every fall and spring. The winner of that goes on to play for national championship. The UPSL has also expanded to Mexico and Canada now, and it just so happens that the Idaho Cutthroats, which are main rival in our league, was invited to go play in Mexico this year to represent one of the U.S. teams, and had some kids signed to pro contracts down there. So it's not like it's a small deal to have that quality of soccer here in Cache Valley. So
from a player standpoint, I mean, when I think of, I guess, just access to playing the sport, a lot of different clubs or competitive teams when you're a kid. Then there's the high school teams. There's still club teams that sometimes those kids will play with. But collegiately, there aren't a lot of options around here. So what was that like just for you, just kind of that journey for you getting involved with still wanting to play soccer at a fairly competitive level?
Well, obviously it's a great thing to have this here. A lot of guys here, we don't have a lot of D1 programs, so this is a great step in that direction if you're looking to go play college ball potentially, or even looking to go play professional ball. So I'm a little bit past that in terms, but for the 20, 21-year-olds, this is a great outlet for them. Yeah.
So what is that age demographic like for the team, Northern Utah United?
It can range anywhere from all the teams from, I think, 16 to however old you can be to still perform. Yeah, so I guess it depends just how good you are. It's a semi-professional team, so if you can play, you can play.
So you're telling me I've still got a chance?
Yeah.
I might be a little passive. But let's tell us about how you guys, personally got started with either just if you had previous, with the premiers, or just is this your first, step into this league? So I guess start with you, Wes. Like, how did you get involved with this team?
So I played for a team in Salt Lake in the league already, and I was just ready to come home. I know we were in the talks about getting a team up here in Logan finally, and it came through, and I came back home, so I don't have to drive to Salt Lake anymore.
There you go. That's always a plus.
Yeah. And then,
yes, Bryan, is kind of same question there.
Yeah, I didn't grow up playing soccer. Grew up in Oklahoma. I don't think they even had a soccer team in my high school. Big high school where we had a bunch of D1 athletes go off. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine won an Olympic gold medal that I ran track with there, but there was no soccer. Moving here to the Valley about 15 years ago, I had a son that tried out for a soccer team, didn't make it. So I'd coached football and basketball at the time, and thought, well, we can do this. Since then, I've been involved in the youth soccer side of things. I've had, top 10 teams in the state for the past 5 years. We had a team, Northern Utah United team, that qualified for the U.S. Club Soccer National Cup last year, and went down to San Diego to regionals, went undefeated there, and placed third in the nation in Colorado last year. So it was a fun ride. It's kind of been a gradual climb to that point. I've never coached men before, which is, it's a little bit of a learning curve there. Kids tend to listen a little closer.
He's calling you out, Weston.
Weston will attest to that. Yeah, Weston is a coach too. We've actually coached against each other over the years. But so my team is a U19 team with Northern Utah United, and they're going to be done this year. All of them are seniors in high school. And when this opportunity came available, Northern Utah United asked me if I wanted to put it together, and I probably was the only dumb one enough to put myself in a spot where I'm going to have to donate so much time and effort to get this thing going. But I just love the sport, and I'm really excited to have something like this here for players like Weston. We have, 10-plus players on our team that have been driving outside of the Valley to be able to play at this level, so it's kind of a dream come true. So,
For those who are just learning about this, maybe want to go see what this looks like, where do you play and how often do you play?
So there are currently 9 teams in our division, so we've got 8 games, 4 home, 4 away. We had our first home game a couple weeks ago against Provo Athletic. It was a barn burner of a game. We ended up getting a red card early in the game and had to play with a man down, and were able to come back from behind and win 4-3. Weston, I think you had all 4 of those goals. Don't be humble.
Yeah.
But we play currently at the old RSL building, the new Hansen family soccer complex right next to Green Canyon. It'll be a challenge to trying to find a place that will house a growing fan support in the future. A lot of the high school stadiums are really booked up with high school sports. I know there's an investor that is putting a new complex together in Providence that has invited us to come be a home team with that. But we have a schedule online toward Northern Utah United. It's NUU.soccer is the website. And we'll have a couple more home games coming up. Our next game is against the RSL Academy down in Harriman on the 8th. And,
So is it like one of the RSL Academy teams? Or because I know they probably have a ton of teams. It's kind of an interesting situation. Do they have I guess, U18 or like adult team? Or are you facing a younger team?
Yeah, this will be the U19 team.
Okay.
So it is they've got I think a U15, U17, U19 teams there. Actually, MLS is just in the process of signing an agreement with the UPSL that they're going to partner up with them, and all the academies in MLS will be playing in that league. So hopefully this becomes a really good rivalry with RSL Academy.
So we're talking with head coach Bryan Hickman of the Northern Utah United Premier Soccer Team, also team captain Weston Casey. Just talk about what it's like being part of this team as far as day to day, because obviously in pros you think you practice every day, but obviously this isn't full-time investments. Like, what's it like being a part of this team and balancing it with your life?
Yeah, obviously the training schedule isn't as intensive as if you were playing professional soccer, but we're still going almost every other day. It's a very good standard, very high level, and it's something to aim towards. If you are a younger player, you're not going to eat up every second of your day, but it will push you. That's for sure. Yeah.
So it provides you that outlet to still play the sport on a good competitive level.
Yep, exactly.
More than just like some rec league with a bunch.
But you'll still be training hard and you'll still be pushing yourself. And a lot of the guys still do stuff on off days as well. So yeah, it's very, very good still.
So my problem is I need to find a group where it's like people that are my skill level. I'm like, okay, I'm all right. Play goalkeeper, but I don't know. I'm not good enough to be playing these pro leagues. I guess I suddenly forgot my question.
Well, I'll step in while you think of yours and come back to it. So let me just ask you about the league itself. It's described as a semi-pro league. So what exactly does that mean to be a semi-pro? I mean, it kind of gives the sense that there are some aspects of professional, but not quite full level of professional soccer.
You want this?
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, it really is. It's in the professional ranks, although to be considered professional, I think you got to be getting paid. It's your profession. Where in this instance, most of the teams, most of the players are still footing the cost. Northern Utah United is a nonprofit organization operated by mostly volunteer coaches. I have not yet gotten paid for this yet. We ask that the players put up some money to help with this. We do have sponsors, by the way. I'd like to mention Visionary Homes, Firehouse Pizza, Square One Printing, and Sportfield Painting to help out with that. But it's mostly the budget that is the definition of a semi-pro team. Actually, one thing I want to mention about that too is that the opportunities that UPSL offers. We're part of the U.S. Soccer Federation, and there were 40 teams that qualified for the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup this year, which is just concluded this year with Houston Dynamo beating Inter Miami, Messi's new team. But every now and then you get teams like the Rochester Rhinos that won that tournament, beat MLS teams back in 1999 and 2022, there was a Sacramento Republic that made it to the finals. So this is something that, a team like Cache Valley could go and play against RSL potentially in the future. I have no idea how we'd do with a budget as far as that goes. And if we did well, I'm sure they'd still our players the next year. But
which the players, I'm sure, wouldn't mind.
Yeah. But as far as semi-pro goes, it's still on the same level as all the professional teams out there. It's just don't have the budget for it.
So when it comes to travel, as you said, you got 4 home games, 4 on the road. It doesn't look like you have to travel too far, but that's all on your own dime to get to those games.
It is, yeah.
So you mentioned qualifying for the Open Cup, but that one question I was thinking of is like, what's as far as season structure and postseason, like how does that all work? Is there like a playoff postseason, or is it more like European soccer leagues where you just play the season?
There's this postseason play every fall and spring. Our last game will be November 4th. There will be a 4-team playoff from our conference. And the winner of the Mountain West Conference is an automatic qualifier for a 32-team conference championship for a national championship every spring and fall. So
I guess what are you guys' own expectations for yourself? Obviously going to try and look to make postseason, but what do you guys feel like you can accomplish in this first season?
I'm really excited about the quality of players that we have on the team. We've really got some kids that can play. The only question is, can we put it together chemistry-wise? This opportunity came up really quickly on us. 6 weeks ago, we didn't even have a team. So we're still trying to figure some things out, mostly on the defensive end. But, we're competing in the league from day one. Really close games. And I think that will continue to grow. I don't think it's unrealistic that we could be in that 4-team playoff at the end, even in this season. But certainly in the spring, we'll be able to put some things together for that. So,
question for Weston: just the way that we just heard the team came together kind of quickly. You were already involved in the league, but when it came a little bit more clear that there were going to be a team for you closer to home. What's that process like, even building a team like that at this level?
Yeah, well, so I knew a lot of the guys here in the Valley that were traveling out of the Valley as well to play. And once Bryan reached out to me and said we were doing this, I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, I'll start looking for guys. I'll start recruiting right away. And so that's what I pretty much did. I started texting everybody, reaching out to everybody. We held a tryout, and then we went from there. I think almost every boy on this team is a Logan player, and most of us were born here, raised here for the most part as well. So that's really cool for our community because it gives us this sense of what we're playing for. Like, my entire life, I've gone away and had to play for other teams, and now it's like we're back home, and it's like, let's put Logan on the map. And like where Bryan was talking, where you can qualify for this Open Cup, it's definitely a cool goal to aim towards, because it's kind of just like that small town dream a little bit,
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So I wanted to ask, I always like to hear nice stories. Just want to know what you guys like favorite moment as far as just playing the sport. Weston, either in the league or just playing soccer. What's one of your favorite moments? Was this previous game where apparently you scored 4 goals, or is it?
Yeah, if I'm talking about this, if I'm talking about so far with this team, for me personally, yeah, that's got to be. It was a fun, intense game. We went up 1-0, I think, right? And then we were down 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. So we were just chasing, and I think I scored in the last couple minutes of the game to put us up 4-3. And playing down a man, it was just a good, intense game. Definitely something that the fans enjoyed too, I think.
I've not heard too many teams going, toe to toe with another team playing most of the game down 10 men. Usually it's you got to turtle up and figure things out.
No, that's true. Actually, so we played down a man for about 60 minutes, and then their goalkeeper ended up getting a red card. So then it was 10 on 10.
So this is an intense game.
It was, yeah, it was a good game, yeah. So no, but it was a lot of fun. I think this is great for the community. It's something we've needed for a long time now, especially with no D1 men's program here. It's the step for the boys in Logan. It's where you need to be coming out of high school.
And Coach Hickman, just looking over the roster, there seems to be a lot of. I see a lot of names of Hispanic heritage. It looks like. Is there? I know there's a strong community here that they love their soccer and where they're from. It's a really big deal. Are there language barriers that you guys have to deal with, or is it, since, as Weston said, a lot of them are from around here anyway?
Yeah, we've actually got a really diverse team. We've got a kid from Ivory Coast, kid from Thailand on our team. Both of them had been here in the United States for a little while now. Quite a few Hispanics, but it fits into place. Actually, we've got quite a few returned missionaries that have come back that just haven't had a chance to go play, or gave up a chance to, I should say, go play college soccer. And this is their opportunity to come back and play again. So it's really a well-rounded team, and everybody gets along really great. That's the great part about it. There is a big following as far as Hispanic culture here in Cache Valley that's really fun. So,
just kind of curious your thoughts as far as the culture of soccer versus other sports, because it does feel like a lot different in terms of soccer versus some of the other sports, especially because there tends to be a little more diversity in soccer around here.
Yeah. What was the question?
It seemed to be just curious about the culture of soccer versus some of these other sports, because there seems to be more diversity in soccer than there is in a lot of other sports.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not even really sure how to answer that.
No, I just think the culture's created through the team and how we train and play together. So, yeah, obviously you'll have Hispanics, white boys, whatever you want. There will be on any team like that. So I think the culture is just created through the team a little bit, and how we are together as friends, off the field as friends, and then, when we go into games with each other. So I think that's something that's developed and built over a longer period of time, which we're currently in the process of forming. And that's the cool thing about NUU doing this, is you're creating a culture for the younger kids too, like the 12, 13, 14-year-old boys, girls. Well, I guess there is a girls' league coming eventually too.
You didn't mention that.
Yeah,
yes.
There will be a girls' league. But as far as this builds, it's creating an identity and a culture for soccer here in the Valley. So, I don't know.
So with that, I want to get back to that girls' league in a minute. But with that, developing this team, as you've said, this is a new team, and players with diverse kind of playing backgrounds coming together, having to institute, like, this is going to be our style. This is the team we're going to be. How challenging has that been for you and the coaching staff to figure out, well, it really depends on who we have and what our players are or is it like, this is the style that we really want and we're going to try to plug people in?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. It really is a little bit of a challenge, especially not even being a team that's 6 weeks old. Everybody coming in with different ideas of how the game is supposed to be played and trying to get them on the same page. I guess going back to your question, Jason, one of the things that we've tried to develop with our team too is culture. Is we just do a lot of tough team things together. We just have an Old Main Hill run every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock if you want to come join us. It's just something that we just do. It's not even for the conditioning part of it. It's just doing tough things as a team, and it develops that unity. But we're working on some things as far as it's going to take a little while to be able to put everybody on the same page as tactics and how we want to play. But I'm really encouraged the success that we've had so far just in a short amount of time.
Yeah, so just I was going to final question. I'm going to steal Eric's, because I was kind of curious about the women's league too, because I'd heard that was something that's in the works, and girls soccer around here is just as good, sometimes even better than the boys, just with how dominant the girls teams are and how often they're putting players in Division I. I mean, the Utah State soccer team is full of local girls. So yes, just what's the process like there as far as developing a women's team to go along with the men's team?
Yeah, the women's team, so UPSL a lot of times is comprised of college players that are out of season. This is the reason that the women's team won't be starting until the spring, because a lot of them will be comprised of the Utah State players here. Manny Martinez, who's the coach at Utah State, is a coach with Northern Utah United also, which is great support to us. We'll be able to draw from a lot of the talent that's at Utah State this spring for that. Just to mention, too, some of the local talent, like we've actually, I don't know if people realize, but we've had 2 local girls here that have been on the U.S. national team, Abby Cotter and most currently Chloe Sadler, who Abby Cotter's now at BYU. But these are all really good girls that have the potential to play on this pro team here in Cache Valley. So
we're going to have some good pro teams, going to bring some championships to Cache Valley. That's what
we
we're saying
hope so. We're going to bring a championship right in this room right here talking to you next.
There we go. Hey, if you win a championship, we'll definitely have you back on.
So you've got you said you've got some home games and some road games. You've already got some games behind you, but when's the next game folks around here can come and check you guys out?
It would be October 14th, Skyview High School at 7 o'clock. I believe is that the Rangers?
Yep.
We play, his old team. That'll be a fun one from Ogden. So
nice rivalry. Get another red card.
That's right.
Or another 4 goals, either one. So it's Northern Utah United Premier. Is that? Am I saying that right? If I say Northern Utah United Premier, is that like?
Yeah.
Okay, not sure because Northern Utah United is youth soccer. You guys are Premier team, but head coach Bryan Hickman, team captain Weston Casey. Glad we could have you on.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah,
Thanks.
It has been. Thank you.
All right, go make sure to check him out. I'll see if I can come. I don't know if I'll take you up on that offer of conditioning.
We'll be looking for you.
I'll make it halfway up the hill before I collapse and just roll back down.
It's easier to roll me down Old Main Hill.
Yeah. I can do the down part. It's the up that no, not even going to try. But thank you so much for coming on. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back after this on the Full.
TTM Technologies, a leading global manufacturer of printed circuit boards and technology solutions, is searching for career-minded candidates to fill multiple positions in our manufacturing and support departments, with starting wages between $17 and $21 an hour, depending on manufacturing work experience. Full and part-time positions are available. Plus, shift differential up to $3.75 an hour added to your base hourly wage, contingent upon shift assignment. TTM Technologies is currently hiring for swing, grave, and weekend shifts. Additionally, TTM Technologies offers a competitive benefits package, including 3 weeks paid time off in your first year of employment, tuition reimbursement for full and part-time employees, annual and quarterly bonuses, and more. You must be 18 or older to apply. Go to careers.ttmtech.com. That's careers.ttmtech.com. Equal opportunity employer.
This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. Scratch and Dent appliances are a great way to save big money on nearly perfect machines. Is your washer out of service? We just got a surplus of Scratch and Dent washers, so we are offering an additional 10% off Scratch and Dent laundry appliances until October 7th. Find the coupon on our website, darylsappliance.com. Don't forget Daryl's exclusive 2-year extended warranty free on Scratch and Dent appliances. That's at Daryl's, where service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road.
Life is hard, so making sure you find that perfect woman is important. You need someone that will be by your side through the good and the bad. Once you have found her, show her that she is special with a beautiful diamond ring from Jerix. Yes, it is all about the romance. At Jerix, you won't find a more intimate setting. Where you purchase the ring might not be as important as who you choose to marry, but it's pretty close.
Jerix Fine Jewelry, make it special, make it Jerix.
Intermountain Bud ENT Clinic has an experienced and caring team of physicians and staff to assist you with all of your ear, nose, and throat concerns, including head and neck surgery. Doctors Kaiser and Wilson and their staff at Intermountain Bud ENT Clinic will work together to provide excellent care and support throughout the entire surgery process, from your pre-op visit to your full recovery. And they accept all insurance. For more information about Doctors Kaiser or Wilson, search Budge Clinic ENT or call 435-716-1420. Local care with Intermountain expertise.
The people have spoken. Steel-coated epoxy floors of Cache Valley is the 3-time gold medalist for Best of Northern Utah. Known for their extremely durable floor coating systems, they can completely transform your concrete, garages and shops, porches and patios. They coat it all. With over 25 years of operation, Steel-coated epoxy floors is Cache Valley's premier coating professionals. Contact Steel-coated Floors of Cache Valley today. Find them online at scfcachevalley.com or call 435-512-1284.
The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
I just saw that the weather is supposed to cool down significantly Sunday into the early part of next week. So you might want to make sure you've got the right kind of oil for your vehicle with temperature changes. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, they can take care of that. They have the Valvoline Synthetic. They have Valvoline Max Life. A lot of different things to make sure your vehicles running for the right time of the year, for the right season. They're open 7 days a week, 695 North Main in Logan. Quick, clean, and easy, how it should be. Comes getting your oil changed.
They've also got that really hard to find blinker fluid.
That's right. It always seems to show up on my bill somehow. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun talking to Northern Utah United Premier. We got a text during the interview, 5879, asking where these guys play. Sometimes we're at the Hanson Sports Complex. It's right there by the Eccles Ice Arena, Green Canyon High School. Sometimes they're at Green Canyon. Sometimes they're at Skyview. So they bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, so basically North Logan, Smithfield area, typically. Yeah, right now they don't seem to have how quickly they had to kind of throw this team together and organization. It makes some sense. They've struggled a bit to have one spot where they'll play every game. Hopefully that's something they're able to take care of going forward. But obviously, semi-pro leagues can be difficult from the get-go to be established in one spot. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm kind of excited to see having a semi-pro team here in the Valley.
And trying to get a women's started in the spring.
Yeah, that too. And like I said, one of the things from that interview that came up over and over is just how great the soccer is here in Logan. I love to highlight the fantastic girls soccer programs we have in Region 11. Translates to collegiate level soccer at Utah State. At least we have a Division I program. We don't have one of those for the men. So this is where there's a direct pipeline right into the semi-pro team. And then for women's, like I said, they'll probably end up playing those games in the spring. And so actually I think it's something like 8 or so of Utah State's women's players played on these types of teams over the summer. Or like in spring and summer.
In their off season, yeah.
Yeah, like they do that. They'll play off season in these kind of leagues. The UPSL.
UPSL, yeah.
So that's something they can basically just have a Cache Valley team, and a bunch of the great players from Utah State come play in the spring. Semi-pro league, go back to playing college, and I think it's something that could work pretty well here.
8968 texting in. I don't know if it will work, but at the start of the first quarter, tell them, sorry boys, we're here late, and it's the second quarter already. Aggies 35, UConn 10.
Whoops, it's the second quarter. Look at the time, boys.
Oh, we better get things into high gear here.
That was a long TV timeout. All right, it's the second quarter.
Let's go.
A lightning delay, but they just crossed out the first quarter.
Not a bad strategy. If it works, go with it.
Whatever it takes, guys. Whatever it takes.
By the way, Jordan Love taking to the field tonight with the Green Bay Packers, hosting the Detroit Lions. The upstart Detroit Lions looking pretty good so far. Both teams 2-1 coming into this game. Question if Jordan Love will have to be the leading rusher again or not, or if he'll get some support. Tough through 3 quarters, but Jordan Love was fantastic in the fourth quarter last Sunday, so a little bit shorter week for him. So excited to see what he does. It's going to be on Prime, 6:15 kickoff tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays. Yeah, having a great supporting cast has been a bit of a struggle for Jordan Love. It was for Aaron Rodgers for like 3 years. It's not gotten any better, but yeah, we'll see if Jordan Love's able to carry the Packers late in a game again, or maybe they'll just blow out the Lions. I don't know.
Lions are favored by 2.
Yeah, I think the Lions probably come away with the win here, but Jordan Love's been good at leading his team, at least being close.
Yeah, could line up to be a pretty exciting Thursday night football game in the NFL.
Yeah, you don't typically see the Lions favored over the Packers. That's not been something you see.
Not in the modern era.
Often.
No. We're going to take another quick break here on the Full Court Press. When we come back, Pick 6. We're going to predict how things will go this weekend. Invite you to shout out your answers at the radio as well. 435-339-0321. Still time for you to weigh in with your score prediction for Saturday, Utah State at UConn.
S.C. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.C. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to scneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
If cost is preventing you from calling an attorney after your accident, you can stop worrying now. You can call the Advocates and discuss your case with an experienced Cache Valley attorney at no cost to you. At the Advocates, when we say you pay zip, nil, nothing, we mean it. Our consultations are free and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Let us be your advocate and we will fight for the settlement you deserve without you ever opening your wallet. Call 801-355-5550 or chat online at utahadvocates.com.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
Beezer Lock and Key specializes in securing your world with their expertise in locks, keys, and hardware. Every aspect of their services is meticulously tailored to ensure your safety. They offer a vast selection of hardware brands and access control options, along with custom master key systems. With Beezer Lock and Key, you have control of your facility's access 24/7. For 28 years, Beezer has provided top-notch security solutions that stand unmatched in the industry. Visit 4th North, 1st West in Logan, or go to beezerlock.com to discover more. When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker here on the Full Court Press. On Thursdays, we try to predict what might take place over the weekend, and we call it Pick Six. I have 3 lines. Jason has 3 lines. It's been a minute since I've been on the show to determine who won or lost to see who goes next. So Jason needs to update us on the last time we were together.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we did Pick Six. We weren't able to reveal the results following Monday, but no, we don't have a ton of time, so I'll just summarize and say I won 4-3 a couple weeks back. It was pretty close. We had some pretty good lines. Ended up winning 4-3 there. So.
Oh, okay. So since you won, you get to decide if you want to go first or defer.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to start very topical first line. I was wondering if you might go a similar one, but just a yes or no. Does Utah State outgain UConn in yards in the first quarter?
I did not have that one.
Okay. I was wondering if you're going to have a first quarter related line.
I don't. No, that's good.
Okay.
I will say yes, they will outgain.
All right, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Combined sacks between Utah State and UConn, 2 not super great pass rushing teams. So how many sacks these 2 teams combined for over under 4.5?
I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
RSL taking on LAFC this weekend. I made my own spread. LAFC by 1.5 goals.
I'll take RSL to cover.
I'm going to take LAFC. All right, you're up.
Okay, number 19 Oregon State versus number 10 Utah on Friday. The line is Oregon State by 4.5.
I'm going to take Utah.
You're going to take Utah to cover.
Yes.
I'm going to take Oregon State. Skyview versus Green Canyon in high school football Friday. Number 1 versus number 6 in Smithfield. Skyview by 5.5.
Take Skyview.
I'm going to take Green Canyon.
All right.
Keep it close, their defense. And then finally, combined penalty yards for Utah State and UConn.
Sheesh.
Combined penalty yards for both teams, 115.5.
I'm going to say over.
I'm going to take the under.
All right. So I got the tiebreaker. This is kind of why I was like, oh my gosh, when you talk about Utah, Oregon State, because mine's a line about that game. But I had total yards between the 2 teams. Between Utah and Oregon State, over under 620.5.
I'm going to take the under.
All righty, and I'll get the over.
There we go. That's our pick six. On Monday, we'll break it down. We'll see how well we did. You'll have to do it without me. I will not be available on Monday.
Oh.
So you'll just have to reveal.
Reveal it on Tuesday?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll have to figure it out again.
Yeah, I've got a viewing and a funeral early part of the week, so I don't know how available I'm going to be. But yeah, we'll find out some way to let the audience know how well we did.
Hopefully it won't be 2 weeks in between.
Yeah, we won't go that
pick
long
and reveal
between the next pick six reveal. So yeah, tomorrow, big day. We'll preview the rest of the Mountain West. What's going on for the weekend? High school football, got some big games in Region 11. I'll update you on who's playing where and how you can follow along. And we'll be able to recap to see how well Jordan Love did on the Thursday night matchup on Lambeau Field. Until then, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you back here on Friday.